Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that everything you thought about leadership was wrong? That leadership isn't about power, authority, or titles, but about something far more profound. We've all seen leaders who demand respect but fail to earn it. We've worked under bosses who give orders but never inspire. And maybe, just maybe, some of us have been in positions of leadership but felt something was missing. Like we weren't truly leading, just managing. So what's the missing piece? What's the formula that separates great leaders from the rest? Today I'm going to break it down for you, because leadership isn't about standing at the top. It's about lifting others up. And if you stay with me, I promise by the end of this talk, you'll walk away with a new perspective on leadership. One that will change not only how you lead, but how people follow you. Let's begin. Leadership is not about titles, positions, or the size of one's office. It is a responsibility, a commitment to those we serve rather than a privilege to be exercised over them. Too often, leadership is mistaken for authority, but true leadership is not about having power over people. It's about empowering them. When we strip leadership down to its core, it is the act of taking responsibility for the well-being and success of others. It's about making decisions that prioritize the team over personal gain and ensuring that those who follow us feel valued, protected, and inspired. We live in a world where leadership is often associated with status. Many believe that leadership is reserved for those with corner offices, fancy titles, or years of experience. But real leadership isn't granted through promotions or corporate hierarchy. It's earned through trust, empathy, and the ability to inspire action. Some of the greatest leaders in history never had formal authority. They didn't wait for permission to lead. They saw a need, stepped up, and took action for the benefit of others. What makes people willing to follow a leader? It's not fear, it's not coercion, it's not manipulation, it's trust. And trust is built when a leader proves time and time again that they have the best interests of their people at heart. A leader who prioritizes self-preservation over the well-being of the group will quickly lose loyalty. People don't follow leaders because they are told to. They follow because they feel safe, inspired, and valued under their leadership. A true leader is the first to take responsibility when things go wrong, and the last to take credit when things go right. They don't pass blame down the chain when mistakes are made. Instead, they shield their people from unnecessary harm. In organizations where leadership is about power and authority, employees live in fear of making mistakes. In organizations where leadership is about responsibility and trust, people feel safe enough to take risks, be creative, and push boundaries. The best leaders create an environment where innovation and growth thrive because they remove the fear of failure. The moment a leader prioritizes their own comfort over the needs of their team, they stop being a leader and become a boss. And there is a world of difference between the two. A boss gives orders, a leader leads by example. A boss demands results, a leader nurtures the conditions that allow results to happen. A boss enforces rules, a leader instills values. When people feel that their leader truly has their back, they will give more than what is asked. They will go beyond the bare minimum because they believe in the mission and in the person leading them toward it. Leadership also means making sacrifices. It means making tough decisions that may not always be the easiest or most popular. It requires patience, selflessness, and a deep understanding that success is not measured by personal achievements, but by how many people you've helped succeed along the way. True leadership is about lifting others up, not standing above them. Many people in leadership positions see themselves as separate from their teams. They believe their role is to oversee, dictate, and control. But real leadership is not about standing apart, it's about standing with. The best leaders roll up their sleeves, get in the trenches, and work alongside those they lead. They don't just tell people what to do, they show them how it's done. And in doing so, they earn the kind of respect that no title or paycheck can buy. Leadership is also about consistency. It's not about grand speeches or heroic gestures. It's about the small, everyday actions that build trust and loyalty over time. A leader's true character is revealed not in moments of success, but in times of crisis. When things go wrong, do they panic, blame, or abandon ship? Or do they stand firm, take responsibility, and lead their people through the storm? The leaders we admire the most are those who remain steady, even in the most challenging times. One of the biggest misconceptions about leadership is that it requires being the loudest voice in the room. Some believe that to be a leader, they must command attention, speak with authority, and always have the final say. But the best leaders understand that leadership is just as much about listening as it is about speaking. They listen to understand, not just to respond. They seek input from their teams, value different perspectives, and create an environment where everyone feels heard. Because when people feel heard, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they are more willing to contribute their best work. A leader's job is not to demand respect, but to earn it. And respect is earned through service, through demonstrating day in and day out that they put people before profit, responsibility before ego, and purpose before personal gain. Leadership is not about seeking followers. It's about inspiring others to become leaders themselves. Trust is the foundation of leadership. Without it, there is no influence, no loyalty, and no real connection between a leader and their people. Trust is not something that can be demanded or assumed. It must be built intentionally and consistently over time. It is earned through actions, not words, through integrity, not promises, and through consistency, not convenience. A leader who lacks trust may still hold a title, but they will never truly inspire or command the commitment of those they lead. Trust begins with transparency. People don't trust leaders who hide information, make decisions behind closed doors, or operate with secrecy. They trust those who are honest, even when the truth is difficult to hear. A leader who openly communicates, even in uncertainty, builds credibility. When leaders share not only their vision, but also their challenges, their mistakes, and even their doubts, they show that they are human. This vulnerability does not make them weak. It makes them relatable. And when people relate to their leader, they trust them more. Trust is built in moments of consistency. It's not about a grand gesture or a single act of kindness. It's about the small, everyday actions that prove reliability. A leader who follows through on their word, who does what they say they will do, earns the confidence of those around them. In contrast, a leader who makes empty promises, shifts priorities without explanation, or says one thing and does another, creates uncertainty. And uncertainty is the enemy of trust. A key component of trust is integrity. People want to follow a leader who does the right thing, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Integrity means standing by one's values, even when faced with pressure to compromise. It means making decisions based on principles rather than convenience. A leader who demonstrates integrity consistently will inspire trust even in the face of adversity. When times are tough, people will rally around a leader they believe in, but they will abandon a leader who has proven to be self-serving. Trust is also built through empathy. People trust leaders who care about them not just as employees or subordinates, but as human beings. A leader who takes the time to listen, to understand, and to acknowledge the struggles of their people fosters a deeper sense of connection. When people feel heard, they feel valued, and when they feel valued, they become more committed to the leader and the mission. A leader who leads with empathy doesn't just ask, "What can you do for me?" but instead asks, "How can I help you succeed?" Consistency in behavior is crucial in establishing trust. A leader who is unpredictable, who changes expectations without warning, or who treats people differently based on circumstances erodes confidence. Trust is not built in moments of convenience, but in moments of challenge. When people know what to expect from their leader, when they know that their leader's values, decisions, and actions align over time, They feel secure. And security fosters commitment. Another aspect of trust is accountability. A leader who takes responsibility for their actions, who owns up to their mistakes instead of blaming others, earns respect. No leader is perfect, and no one expects them to be, but people do expect honesty and humility. A leader who admits when they are wrong, who learns from failures, and who demonstrates a willingness to improve, strengthens trust. On the other hand, a leader who deflects blame, denies responsibility, or covers up mistakes weakens their credibility. Trust is also reinforced through fairness. A leader who plays favorites, who rewards based on personal relationships rather than merit, creates resentment. People want to know that their efforts and contributions are recognized equally, that opportunities are given fairly, and that decisions are made based on what is right rather than what is convenient. A leader who treats everyone with respect, who values diverse perspectives, and who ensures that credit is given where it is due, builds a culture of trust. Communication plays a significant role in trust building. People don't just want to be told what to do, they want to understand why. Leaders who take the time to explain decisions, to provide context, and to align actions with a greater purpose create clarity. Clarity leads to confidence, and confidence strengthens trust. When people feel included in the decision-making process, when they feel that their voices matter, they become more invested in both the leader and the organization. Trust is fragile. It takes time to build, but can be lost in an instant. A single act of dishonesty, a single moment of betrayal, or a single instance of neglect can undo years of trust building. That's why great leaders prioritize trust above all else. They understand that trust is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing commitment. It requires attention, effort, and an unwavering dedication to doing what is right, even when no one is watching. Great leaders inspire action. They don't just give orders, set goals, or demand results. They create a vision so compelling that people willingly commit themselves to the cause. Inspiration is not about authority, it's about influence. It's the ability to make people feel something so deeply that they choose to take action, not because they are forced to, but because they believe in the mission. The difference between a leader who inspires and one who simply manages is the difference between compliance and commitment. People may obey a manager, but they will follow a leader who inspires. Inspiration begins with purpose. People are not motivated by tasks alone. They are motivated by meaning. A leader who communicates a clear and powerful why creates a sense of purpose that goes beyond individual roles or responsibilities. Purpose fuels passion, and passion drives action. When people understand how their efforts contribute to something bigger than themselves, they become more engaged, more creative, and more dedicated. A leader's job is not just to define the work, but to illuminate the impact that work has on the world. Inspiration is rooted in belief. A leader who believes deeply in what they are doing naturally transfers that belief to those around them. Passion is contagious. When a leader speaks with conviction, when they show unwavering commitment to their cause, it creates a ripple effect. People are drawn to authenticity, and they can sense when a leader's words and actions align with their true beliefs. If a leader lacks conviction, if they hesitate, doubt, or waver in their purpose, their people will sense that too. True inspiration comes from a leader who is not just saying the right things, but genuinely living their mission. Storytelling is one of the most powerful tools of inspiration. Facts and figures inform, but stories move people. Great leaders use storytelling to connect emotionally, to paint a picture of what's possible and to make abstract ideas tangible. A well-told story has the power to ignite passion, stir emotion, and create a sense of belonging. When people hear stories of struggle, perseverance, and triumph, they see themselves in those narratives. They begin to believe that they too can overcome obstacles, achieve greatness, and contribute to something meaningful. Another element of inspiration is vision. A leader who can clearly articulate a future that is better than the present creates hope. Hope is a powerful motivator. When people believe in the possibility of a brighter future, they are willing to work harder, push boundaries, and overcome challenges. A leader's vision must be bold, but it must also be believable. It must be grounded in reality, yet ambitious enough to spark excitement. The most inspiring leaders don't just talk about what is, they talk about what could be, and they help people see their role in making that vision a reality. Inspiration also requires action. Words alone are not enough. A leader who inspires does so through their own behavior, through leading by example, and through demonstrating the values they expect from others. When people see a leader who is willing to put in the work, to sacrifice, to take risks, and to stand by their principles, they are more likely to follow suit. Inspiration is not about lofty speeches. It's about consistency, integrity, and the courage to do what others are afraid to do. Empowerment is a key driver of inspiration. People don't just want to be told what to do. They want to feel capable, trusted, and valued. A leader who inspires doesn't micromanage. They create an environment where people feel confident in their abilities. When people are given the freedom to make decisions, take ownership of their work, and contribute ideas, they feel a deeper connection to the mission. An inspired team is one that feels trusted to innovate, to challenge the status quo, and to take initiative. Inspiration is built on connection. People are not inspired by distant, unapproachable figures. They are inspired by leaders who are present, engaged, and genuinely interested in them. When leaders take the time to listen, to understand the fears and aspirations of their people, they create a culture of trust and motivation. An inspiring leader makes people feel seen, heard, and appreciated. They recognize effort, celebrate progress, and acknowledge the contributions of those around them. Inspiration is not about temporary motivation. It is not about quick wins or surface-level enthusiasm. True inspiration lasts because it is deeply rooted in purpose, belief, vision, action, empowerment, and connection. A leader who inspires creates a movement, not just a moment. They ignite a passion in people that continues long after the leader has left the room. The greatest leaders don't just push people toward action. They awaken something inside them that drives them to take action on their own. Leadership is not about power, it is about service. The best leaders do not see themselves as rulers, but as servants to those they lead. True leadership is not measured by how much authority one holds, but by how much one uplifts, supports, and enables others to succeed. Leadership is not about demanding respect, but about earning it through actions that demonstrate care, responsibility, and commitment to the well-being of the team. A leader who serves their people creates an environment where trust, collaboration, and excellence thrive. Service-oriented leadership begins with humility. A leader who believes they are above their team, who seeks personal gain above the collective good, or who prioritizes their ego over the mission, will never earn true loyalty. Humility does not mean weakness. It means understanding that leadership is not about being the most important person in the room, but about ensuring that everyone in the room feels important. A humble leader acknowledges that success is a shared effort and that their role is not to be the hero, but to create heroes within their team. A leader serves by putting people first. This means understanding that organizations are built on human beings, not just systems, strategies, or profits. When a leader prioritizes their people, when they listen, support, and advocate for their needs, they cultivate an environment of loyalty and dedication. People who feel valued, respected, and supported by their leader are far more likely to go above and beyond, not out of obligation, but out of genuine commitment. A leader who puts their team first does not ask, "What can you do for me?" but instead asks, "How can I help you do your best work?" Serving as a leader also requires empathy. Leadership is not just about making decisions. It is about understanding the impact of those decisions on real people. A leader who lacks empathy makes choices based purely on logic, efficiency, or personal gain, without considering how those choices affect morale, motivation, or well-being. An empathetic leader, on the other hand, considers the human element in every decision. They recognize that behind every role, title, or responsibility there is a person with ambitions, challenges, and emotions. By showing genuine care and concern, a leader builds trust and fosters a culture of mutual respect. One of the most powerful ways a leader serves is by creating opportunities for growth. A true leader does not hoard knowledge, control decision-making, or limit others' potential. Instead, they invest in the development of their team, providing mentorship, guidance, and opportunities to learn and excel. Leadership is not about keeping power, but about empowering others. When a leader actively helps their people grow, whether through new challenges, professional development, or personal encouragement, they create a culture where innovation and excellence flourish. The best leaders understand that their legacy is not measured by their personal achievements, but by the success of those they have helped elevate. Service-based leadership is also about protection. A strong leader shields their team from unnecessary stress, toxic influences, and external pressures that can hinder performance and morale. This does not mean avoiding challenges or refusing to hold people accountable, but it does mean creating a work environment where people feel safe to take risks, voice concerns, and challenge ideas without fear of punishment. A leader who serves is one who stands up for their team, who takes responsibility when things go wrong, and who ensures that credit is given where it is due when things go right. A leader's ability to serve is demonstrated in their willingness to listen. Many leaders speak, but few truly listen. The ability to listen actively, without interruption, without judgment, and with the intention of understanding rather than simply responding, is one of the most underrated leadership skills. When people feel heard, they feel valued. When they feel valued, they become more engaged, more loyal, and more committed to the mission. A leader who listens earns insights that others miss, identifies problems before they escalate, and builds relationships based on mutual respect. A leader who serves does not lead from a place of fear or control, but from a place of inspiration and trust. They recognize that the true measure of leadership is not in how many people obey them, but in how many people they inspire to take initiative on their own. The greatest leaders do not demand excellence, they cultivate it. They do not command loyalty, they earn it. And they do not seek recognition for themselves, but rather work to ensure that those around them shine. Service-based leadership is not about a title or position. It is a mindset, a commitment to putting people before profit, principles before politics, and purpose before personal gain. It requires sacrifice, patience, and a deep belief in the potential of others. It is not the easiest path, but it is the one that leads to the strongest teams, the most enduring success, and the most meaningful impact.